You are watching the Global Gamers Invitational Tournament brought to you by iFixit. SCVs for the real world. The Handsome Nerd attire for the handsomest of nerds. And Esports United, sponsored by Intel. This broadcast is also made possible by IC Cup TV, TeamLiquid.net, and of course, Blizzard Entertainment.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm expecting something aggressive from WhiteRaP. If not like a 2-gate, a 4-gate pressure, similar to what he did on the last map. Even though it's kind of a long walking distance, get that proxy pylon down, go over the top, aggressive, try and end it quickly. Because like you said, it's a Zerg map, he's up 2-0, he's in a really good position. If it fails, whatever, he can pick the best Protoss map he can think of and try and end it the next game in a nice, solid macro game. But I'm just waiting for like a 4-gate or something like that from WhiteRaP.
Well, to be fair, we just saw a 4-gate, so we'll probably see something different, some different form of cheese. It's not going to be a proxy gateway, we know that, so we'll have to wait and see what it is. I do want to thank the sponsors while we wait to see what cheese, I won't call it cheese, what alternative strategy WhiteRaP employs, and I'm calling it too. I mean, I would do the same. It's, you know, I give it 4-1 odds. We're going to see some unusual play from WhiteRaP. I do want to thank those sponsors. They are, of course, iFixit, SCVs for the real world, the Handsome Nerd attire for the handsomest of nerds, and Esports United, sponsored by Intel. So I am just watching this production tab with bated breath, just waiting to see what he does. And so far we see the standard stepping stone build of Protoss. Get your gateway down, get your cyber core down. Same with DimagaZ. I imagine this time he's going to pick up Zergling speed, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's one thing he's going to do differently this game, is get Zergling speed. You can see he did get that hatchery down first. Very, very standard for a Zerg player on this map to get hatched first. You can get away with it even versus Protoss. And now has that spawning pool on the way. Now that the cybernetics core is on the way for WhiteRaP, be paying close attention. This Overlord's going to be paying close attention to the energy on this Nexus. He just dropped the second assimilator. That energy is not stockpiling, so we're not going to be seeing a super fast warp gate rush. He might still be going for like a slightly delayed 3 or 4 warp gate, but usually when players are going, I'm going to get warp gates out as soon as possible, make lots of units and shove them down your throat, they start stockpiling that energy on the Nexus. There we go, he's still dumping that energy, getting a quick stalker, trying to kill that Overlord like he did in the first game, but it looks like DimagaZ will get it away this time. And, you know, still only 1 gateway on 2 gas.
Something's coming once that Overlord's gone. You're just waiting to see it. And meanwhile, DimagaZ, his hatchery down to 2/3 health from 1 probe, slowly working at it, but those Zerglings have popped and the probe is forced to retreat. Didn't get a hatchery kill, no surprise there. And I don't know if you're watching the production tab, but it looks like we now know what WhiteRaP is doing. It's a Stargate. Phoenixes or Void Rays? I'll leave this one to you. What are you calling?
I gotta say Void Rays, because he went 1 gate, Stargate, instead of like 2 or 3 gate. Going for the Phoenixes, you usually see players get the more gateway units out first. He got really early Stargate, he waited for that Overlord to leave, and then he dropped it as soon as he hit 150, 150. There were slight changes to the Void Ray recently on the 1.12, like, I don't know how I'm supposed to put the decimals in there, but basically they do less damage when they're fully charged versus armored units, but they do slightly more damage while they're charging up at the same time. So do see the first Void Ray is on the way. If he can catch DimagaZ off guard with these, be able to do quite a bit of damage. He is not making an extra queen, which normally is very, very standard for Zerg players in this matchup, especially on Scrap Station. Getting that 3rd queen, not only to connect your bases, but to help defend against air units. Problem is, there's a lot of Zerglings running straight to his front door.
And he plugs that hole in the nick of time. WhiteRaP does wall off in time to block those lings. I think, I'll have to check the vision on those lings. I think DimagaZ saw the Stargate. He did not, just far enough away. So the first Void Ray is on the way, and we'll see if DimagaZ can put a hole in that. He did catch 2 Stalkers earlier. I don't know if you caught that or not, but 2 Stalkers were killed by mass Speedlings. Speedlings, who'd have thought? from DimagaZ. Speedling's able to catch those stalkers, prevent them from getting to a critical mass that they did last time. Easy kill. And, you know, if this were a different situation, I'd expect banelings from DimagaZ. But he is grabbing that hatchery, and I don't know how he's going to get in because he has a ton of links, and he cannot make it.
Dangerous. Like, if you look back at DimagaZ, he's going up to lair. He has not started that extra queen yet. He has an evolution chamber, yes, but there's no spore crawlers anywhere. He has not caught sight of this Stargate. He does see a decent number of warp gate units, so you might not immediately think, oh, he's going something crazy. You can see he has this Phoenix coming after the first two Void Rays, which is really, really good. It'll allow him to lift off queens and then kill them with the Void Rays. Here comes the Void Rays. DimagaZ realizes that he's in a ton of trouble because he has no anti-air. He's trying desperately to make queens, but this Phoenix will come over here to support if he sends it to be able to lift off those queens. If he can power down this lair as well, that'll be a big hit. Probably surprised he's not going for that evolution chamber. This Phoenix, though. Oh, but look, the Zerglings got into the base of WhiteRaP. They broke open the front. So now there's Void Rays in DimagaZ's base, Zerglings and WhiteRa's. But WhiteRa's not paying attention to these Void Rays because he's too busy defending his base. So one of the Void Rays is about to go down. There it goes. Zergling's still doing a ton of damage in WhiteRa's base. DimagaZ might pull out this win if he can hold off this last Void Ray. One Void Ray versus one Queen. The Void Ray goes down. Speedling's still tearing up the probes. Oh my god, DimagaZ, it looks like he was in so much trouble, but he just ran straight in the front with the Zerglings and has completely busted him open. Here comes another Void Ray. The worker count, though, is 13 to 20 in DimagaZ's favor. It's not over by any means, but DimagaZ, I thought he might even just lose there.
Honestly, he would have lost if WhiteRaP had not moved out and kept those stalkers in his base and the Zealots blocking the front door. He would have won the game and the series. But instead he got greedy. I don't know why he moved out. His Void Rays and that Phoenix had arrived seconds earlier. He would have caught that second Queen and DimagaZ's main would be dead. But at least WhiteRaP is still pressing his advantage. He's killing Overlords, but unfortunately somehow again the Lings are inside. The Zealots could not hold the line, and now a Void Ray is trying to kill Zerglings. I never thought I'd see the day where a Void Ray is used to target Zerglings.
Yeah, so you can see that WhiteRaP is not even able to go up against these queens because there's 3 queens now. There's Hydralisks popping out. He's having a really tough time here. His Void Rays are not doing the damage that he'd really like anymore because DimagaZ has gotten the anti-air out. This game appears to have completely shifted into the favor of DimagaZ. But now he's trying to power down this spawning pool. Did get just a slight health boost in that last patch, using that queen to lift off, using the Phoenix to lift off one of the queens, take it completely out of the fight. But the Phoenix does go down to the Hydras. That's going to be it. There's no possible way he can win with these Void Rays, with these queens and the Hydralisks. There's the GG from WhiteRaP. DimagaZ does pull the win, and he will be forcing a game 4.
Well, it was a great call by you, suggesting that WhiteRaP is going to try something fancy, and I want to say he got what he deserved, but it's not the case at all. He almost won that game. It was by a hair.
Oh,
a
so
tiny
close.
hair. And
I thought DimagaZ was done. I thought it was over. I thought he was just nailing the coffin, that's it. And then, oh, so close. Barely stays in it. DimagaZ style, you know, razor's edge, just barely pulling it off. Oh, I love DimagaZ. He does that so often.
Well, hopefully he can keep doing that. He's got to win 2 more games to move on to the next round. So let's get the next game queued up and see how we go. 2-1 in favor of WhiteRaP. So be sure to stick with us and see how this concludes.